Next up is the dual RVG, which is a random voltage event generator. From the website description, AJHSynth says this is a faithful replica of the vintage EMS Random Voltage Generator. The general principle is that it generates two separate random voltages timed from an internal LFO or from an external clock. The time vary knob can add a varying amount of randomization to the internal clock, so you can get randomized time as well as voltage output. Oddly, the website has no in-depth section on this particular module, so we're going to be winging it from here. As usual, let's walk the panel. The LFO frequency knob at the top has some bizarre characteristics I do not fully understand. The webpage states it has an effective range between 4 and 10, and a dead range between 0 and 4, but still manages to cover the 0.2 to 20 Hz frequency range. So I don't know what that means. Also part of this circuit is, of course, the FQ CV jack that takes a CV in and is attenuated here by the frequency CV knob in the third row. When using an external CV to boost the frequencies, you can get up to 45 Hz on the LFO, which is more than the vintage EMS circuitry. The gate output jack will only generate a gate signal if the run switch is in the on or the down position. You can also feed a gate signal in via the run GT jack, but the run switch also needs to be down for this to generate a gate signal out. I'm not clear what that's used for. The gate PW knob will widen the width of the gate pulse as you would expect. The time vary knob uses a value of 0 to 10, and it's only used when using the internal LFO signal, not with an external clock source. This knob applies a random voltage to the rate of the internal LFO, and the general outcome is a varying rate signal coming from V1, V2 over here. The triangle and ramp down shapes will put out a signal even if run is disabled, though they will not be affected by the random voltage variations, but instead their speed is controlled by LFO freak. V1 and V2 outs over here, these circuits, two of them, are made up of V1 level and V1 offset, and V1 slew. Same for V2, except V2 doesn't have a slew. These act like sample and hold circuits, and based on V1 level or V1 offset, you can get interesting results from a VCO volt per octave using this. Add slew and we have a talking robot. I'm currently using this into volt per octave of 2 oscillators, not because that's how I plan to use it, but it's evident what's going on if you can hear bleeps and bloops, right? So let's listen to some bloops. The first thing we're going to do is we have our rate set, we have our level set, and level, you can picture it like a range. Let's listen to it like this. If I lower the level, it's only generating pitches in a smaller range, but if I raise it, it's a broad range. It's a very wide range. So we'll keep this down at around 10 o'clock, and we'll just use offset. Like, is it gonna generate low tones or high tones? All right, and then time vary is where you get some, I mean, I guess you could call it jitter, maybe? Maybe. So if I take the second oscillator that I have plugged in here, oscillator 3, plugged into V2, and then we're going to set it up the same kind of way. We'll have the same ranges just for now. I'll turn the time vary off just for a moment and then turn on the LFO. Okay, ready? So that's pretty obnoxious. But I'm going to turn up the time vary knob. And now I'm going to widen the gate a little bit. Let's add some slew. This is so ridiculous. So no, that's probably not how I would actually use dual RVG, but audibly speaking, you get the idea. It poops out these little randoms, kind of sample and hold randoms that you could use for anything. I will probably put this into my regular big rack with the rest of my modular stuff because of the random voltages coming out, plus the triangle and the ramp down that's here, and just the fact that it does all this random stuff. I could see it being used with my filters or effects, raising and lowering effects, just like you would any other sample and hold. So let's just call it that. All right, that's it.